Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose.
Hey, good evening, Facebook. Welcome all posties, boys and girls, beautiful people, magnificent and amazing parents throughout the world. Welcome to Post Daily Dose with me, your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guide and servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Bryan+Post. Tonight's episode, we're going to talk about dealing with eye-rolling, back talk, and sassy mouth. Because those are all things that you and I, as children growing up, we knew not to do. And how many times did you hear, "I will knock your eyeballs into the back of your head," or "Do you want me to smack you in the mouth," or "Don't you talk back to me"? I know you heard it over and over and over again, and I know your child does it right now and drives you freaking crazy. You want to strangle them sometime, but you don't. So what you have to understand about talking back, about sassy mouth, about eye rolling, all those little things that kids are commonly do as they start to get older. Hey, Kenton, and Kenton from Montana joining us. Nice for you to join us. And hey there, mother, watching me, and hello everyone else. What you have to understand about attitudes like eye rolling, because that is an attitude. What you have to understand about back talk, which is an expression of feelings. What you have to understand about sassy mouth, which is an expression of feelings, is that those are ways in which we express our emotions. They are ways in which we transition. And so this the topic tonight came about from a comment from a parent in Scotland who has had a real breakthrough with her foster son, where he was really insulting the dad and, really feeling threatened by the dad. And so he's kind of broke through to that. But the mom says allowing him to express his feelings, they're wondering if, because he's using some harsh words and saying some mean things, mom says, I know he probably doesn't mean it, but the statement is, we're wondering if allowing him to express his feelings is going to get out of control. That's a very, very interesting perspective. So that's kind of how I came to the topic this evening. But as I was saying, the eye rolling and the back talking and the sassy mouth, those are all pathways of emotional expression. And we only have three. We have attitudes, feelings, and behaviors. And if you haven't seen my presentation on the three pathways of emotional expression, please go and watch it tonight, especially if this is a topic that is speaking to you, because I want you to have some compounded learning, because I give you the diagram on it and I break it down for you very succinctly, very clearly, so you can understand it. When your child is talking back, when they're rolling their eyes at you, when they've got a sassy mouth, the biggest challenge is your own emotional reactivity. And why do you react to a child who rolls their eyes? Why do you react to your child when they're talking back or they've got a sassy mouth? It's because you've got an imprint within your brainstem controlled by your amygdala. So when you hear those things, it turns your amygdala and activates it, sends you into a stress reaction, which then stirs up your brainstem, which stirs up those blueprints that come from your own childhood when your parents said, "Don't you talk to me that way, don't you roll your eyes at me like that." And so you have all these, and how many times, some of you can even go back to your grandparents, right? Probably saying something about a sassy mouth, about rolling their eyes. So it just goes back in the generations. So you've got all these imprints for this form of emotional expression being negative, being something that a child should not do. Hey, Jody, thank you for joining the post-revolution. I just seen that pop up. For all these things that your child shouldn't do. And so you have these reactions, and those reactions heighten your stress reaction. So they drive your fear. And then remember what I'm always telling you about what happens in times of stress. Our thinking gets confused and distorted. Our short-term memory gets suppressed. And so you could be a parent who's had some really big breakthroughs with your child, but they can start doing things like talking back and sassy mouth and rolling their eyes, and it just triggers you at this whole other level. And then even though you're having these breakthroughs because you're practicing this love-based parenting thing, you start to wonder, is it going to get out of control? Well, what does getting out of control tell you? You use those words, get out of control. That tells you that you're teetering on fear. You're teetering on worry and concern about an emotional expression getting out of control. And this is what leads us to suppress it. See, this is why children misbehave. Guess, surprise, children misbehave because we are afraid that their attitudes are going to get out of control. We're afraid that they're going to roll their eyeballs right out of their head and it's going to fall out onto the floor and it's going to be connected to those long, whatever those things are that keep the eyeballs pulled into their head. We're afraid that they're going to roll their eyeballs so much that they're just going to go boop and just pop out and maybe like attack us or something. So we're like, we don't want the eye rolling to get out of control. We're afraid that that's going to get out of control, and when they one too many times, it's gonna just cause some kind of spewing from their mouth that's going to get all over us, and it's going to eat into our bodies, and we're afraid that sassy mouth. I don't want it. We're so afraid that it's going to get out of control and it's going to just create this horrible energy of, I don't know, we're bad parents. I'm a bad parent energy, or maybe I'm a guilty parent energy. And so guess what we do? We suppress it. We say, stop doing that. Don't do that. You can't do that. Don't tell me your feelings. Don't express your feelings to me. So we suppress the attitudes. And then the feelings come out and we suppress the feelings. We say, don't give me your feelings. We suppress the feelings because we don't want the feelings to get out of control. Because lo and behold, I'm going to get a feeling shower and it's not going to feel good. We've got all these imprints that tell us that attitudes and feelings are horrible things. They're disrespectful. Someone expressing their attitude and their feeling is disrespectful. Someone expressing their attitudes and their feelings are, lo and behold, our child. Because how many times do we let each other as adults, we let ourselves express our attitudes and our feelings? And we don't ever worry about someone getting out of control because they're expressing their attitudes and their feelings. Because you know what? When you're encountering an adult who's expressing their attitudes and their feelings, and they just keep amping up, you eventually shut up. Like, you eventually will just shut up and stop saying anything. And guess what they do? They shut up too. It's like this magical little thing. When you dial down, the person who's been dialing up will dial down too. Isn't that fascinating? But when it's associated with our children, we have all these generational messages that say, oh my God, you're raising this horribly disrespectful child who's never going to be able to hold a job. They're going to get fired. They're going to go to school. They're going to get in trouble by teachers. Blah, 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 blah. All this fear because we're worried about attitudes and feelings getting out of control. So then what we do is we get scared and we start trying to suppress the attitudes and feelings again. Not that our postie from Scotland is doing this. I'm just saying in general, this is kind of how we operate. See, because we're so focused on something getting out of control, we don't realize that by actually encouraging the expression, when I can be in a loving place, when I can be in a place where I can be regulated and I can contain you. You're not going to get out of control when I'm encouraging you to express your feelings to me. See, that's important. You're not going to get out of control when I am encouraging it. There is no out of control. In fact, I want you to lose your freaking mind. Lose your mind. Why lose your mind when you are upset? I want you to lose your freaking mind so you do one thing. Express your energy so you don't drop down to behaviors. Because when we suppress attitudes, when we suppress feelings, the only thing that's left are behaviors.
Join us live on weekdays at 6:30 Central Time on Facebook at the Post+Institute.
Don't forget to get your copy of Brian's best-selling book, From Fear to Love.
On promotion.
Just pay shipping and handling at www.feartolovebook.com. That's www.feartolovebook.com.